here to explain exactly what is happening in the Wisconsin legislature, Assistant Professor Anthony Chergosky from, did I say that right? Chergosky?
Yes.
Chergosky.
Yes, Chergosky.
Goski, okay. From UW La Crosse. I was like, I got to make sure I get this right. So this is kind of insane what's going on right now, it seems like, isn't it?
Well, Jen, if the people of Wisconsin thought that the end of election season would give them a break from the party conflict, nope. The party conflict is alive and well. In fact, it's intensifying through this lame duck session of the legislature.
So here's what I'm having a hard time wrapping my brain around. We have had a Republican governor, a Republican state senate, and a Republican Congress for 8 years.
Right.
And now they are saying they want a balance of parties.
Yes. And I think that if you look at it on the whole, that's a rational thing for the legislature to want.
Okay.
The legislature wants to be able to compete with the powers of the executive branch. The obvious counter is that why do you wait until now to enact reforms that can help you balance the power of the legislative branch, the executive branch? Jen, it comes down to partisan politics, pure and simple.
What I know that we have heard from Josh Kaul and we have heard from Tony Evers. They're clearly not happy with what is happening, and there is some some kind of. I'm not exactly sure the word I'm looking for. Some people are thinking that potentially they will do something about this, lawsuits,
yes.
And where do you see that falling?
Oh, the lawyers are going to be busy.
Okay.
The lawyers are going to be busy,
Yes.
and the people of Wisconsin, in many cases, are going to be footing the bill for these lawsuits. Josh Kaul has said he is going to sue groups who are upset with the 2-week limitation on early voting. They will sue. It is possible that there will be other lawsuits. Lawsuits galore are coming as a result of this lame duck session.
Any chance, do you think, that Governor Walker won't sign these bills?
Very unlikely, Jen. I know that Tony Evers has said that he's going to make a personal appeal to Scott Walker. I'm a bit skeptical that that will be effective. Ultimately, this is about preserving the conservative legacy of Scott Walker, as you said, with 8 years of unified control of Republican government. They want to do what they can to prevent Tony Evers from rolling back those conservative reforms. And so I think ultimately that's going to win the day for Scott Walker. Now, he's been a little evasive about his intent on whether or not he's going to sign the law. But ultimately, when this comes down to protecting his policy legacy, I expect him to sign off on it.
There were protests outside. Fair for people to be angry about this? Or, as you mentioned, do you feel like this is a good idea, just maybe a bad time?
I think it's a good idea that the legislature can balance the power of the executive branch. Checks and balances are fundamental to the system of American government, that the branches can kind of keep each other under control, keep an eye on each other. That's really important. But I think people are upset about the timing, and I think that the timing shows that this is more about partisan politics than it is about really checks and balances. If the legislature wanted to reclaim its power, it had plenty of opportunities to do that in the past 8 years. The timing is suspicious, to put it mildly.
Why do I feel like you and I are going to be getting very familiar over the next year or so as this all sort of plays out? Again, we're watching to see what Governor Scott Walker does. That's the next step. But as you said, partisan politics is not going anywhere.
It's only getting worse, Jen. It's only getting worse.
Anthony, we really appreciate you stopping by again, and we would love to have you back as this all kind of breaks down.
Thank you so much, Jen.
Thanks for being here. We're going to take a break. We've got weather coming up. Don't go away.